Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of Yammy Noob. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here today. You could have picked a lot of videos, but you chose this one. So, title of today's video is my approach and my thought process behind riding twisty roads. This is one I've tried to film this video about 2 times now, and both times I didn't get it quite right. So I hope today I can do it justice and give you guys both my perspective on riding twisty roads, my thought process behind it, some tips that I have, and just anything else I can think of while I'm out there today. So, we are on my Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled today. This is a on/off-road bike. As you can tell, I take it off-road, so it's got some dirt on it as well right now. And we're going to be going on Lime Creek Road here in Austin, Texas. This is a standby twisty road that a lot of folks like to run up here, sometimes a little too fast and sometimes a little too crazy, but we'll get into that as well today. But before we start, I'd just love for you to go and check out our website, yammynoob.co. If you like what we do here, if you want to support what we do here on this channel, it's a great way to support us. It's the reason why we can give away new motorcycles to people and do a bunch of cool stuff like that. So if you like what we do, hit the link down below, go to yammynoob.co and sign up. You get access to our Discord server, exclusive content, all kinds of cool stuff. But without further ado, sit back, relax, because this is probably going to be a nice, relaxed, raw-style vlog. And let's get into it, shall we? Let's go. Come along with me. Let's go for a ride. So we just pulled up and there's a car in front of us, so this gives us a great opportunity to just chat about some things really quick. So before we even talk about techniques and that sort of thing when it comes to riding a twisty bit of road, there's a couple things I want you guys to focus on before you even get out on that road and have fun. The very first thing you should do is wear all of your gear, guys. So as you can see today, I've got on full boots, sliders and pants, textile armored jacket, full helmet, and gloves. So I am rocking at GAT right now. I'm wearing all the gear all the time. So feeling pretty good about that. The second thing you want to do, and I think this one's kind of overlooked, is to have a source of water. You guys might have seen sometimes in my vlogs, I get this little water thing flapping about. But even on a day like today that's slightly overcast and, not too hot, I think it's really important to stay hydrated, guys. Motorcycling is not a super physically involved activity, but it does help to have some water when you're out there and riding. Otherwise, you're going to be out of focus, you're going to be dehydrated, and you might start getting fatigued and make mistakes. Make a quick courteous pass there, otherwise we will be stuck going 40 miles per hour the entire time. So, wear all your gear, have some water on you. And the third thing that I want to implore you guys to do is before you get out on your favorite bit of road and start having some fun, do a quick run up and down the road just to make sure all the conditions are clear. Most public roads are subject to, different conditions changing, new cracks emerging, bumps, potholes, all kinds of stuff. So just do a quick run up and down the road, see if the coast is clear, see if you're good to go to have some fun on your road or if anything's changed before you start amping up the pace a little bit. Now, let's get into some nittier grittier about actual riding techniques. So, background on me, if this is your first time checking out this channel, I've been riding motorcycles for about 5 years now. I've done about 45 days at the track. I currently hold a provisional novice license to race in CMRA here in Texas. I've got a track prepped RC390 and a race prepped Daytona. I'm going to put up a couple images of me riding and ripping around on that bike. And also, whenever you're riding your favorite road, do take a moment to just appreciate the views every once in a while. Look how pretty that is down there, guys. Hill country here in Texas. Always great to get a nice little view of it. So yeah, that's my background. I've been doing this for a long time. I've ridden tons of different motorcycles, and I have a pretty good amount of track day experience. And the first thing I want to implore to you guys as someone who is relatively experienced at the track, the road is no place to race, guys. The road is no place to push yourself, push your bike, or push your limits. It is about staying safe out here and having fun. The goal for you on a nice bit of twisty road is to just flow with it. You should not be pushing yourself. You should not be trying to go as fast as you can. And on that note, a great tip that I can give you to not going super fast is to literally loosen up. Like, take your jaw and just loosen it up. I think a lot of times guys don't even realize that you're carrying that much stress on your body while you're riding. But if you're riding around with your jaw clenched and your eyes wide open and your hands really stiff, you're already setting yourself up to have a bad time when you ride. So keep everything nice and loose. Keep your arms nice and loose. Keep your hands nice and loose, nice and light on the bars. Literally loosen your jaw. Keep your eyes kind of like, they call them dead pilot eyes. So literally just keep them like, not wide open and, adrenaline pumping out of your veins, but just a nice casual kind of glance. Keep your breathing nice and mellow. You're having fun out here. You're not setting lap records. So that's a great thing for you to keep in mind. Now let's talk some technique. Road positioning is something that a lot of folks talk about when it comes to riding twisty roads. And personally for me, I think that anyone that's talking about apexing on the streets or, lines or that kind of stuff is full of shit. I'm going to just say that plain and simple. If you're talking about, cornering on the road and taking apexes, you're already probably riding way too fast, and you're probably not a great rider in my opinion. On the road, there is only safe, guys. So lane positioning rather than cornering and apexing is what you should be doing. So let's take this corner up here as an example. So it's a 20 mile per hour marked corner. We see that guy coming up here. We stay to the outside so we could see him. We cut closer to the inside here as we take it so that van's not going to eat us up over here. And we stay to the outside here, setting us up for this next corner. We see it out here. Go over this way, flick in, look, keep looking ahead, stay on the outside here. Make sure no one's coming that way. You're always kind of minding the road position and keeping things in mind here. The goal of it is to stay safe. That's really the goal of it here. It's to flow with the road, stay safe, and have a nice time. So let's run through that again. That corner's marked 15 miles per hour. That means we're going to have to brake a little bit here, drop down into second, stay to the outside, and then come here, keep to the inside so that way anybody coming out here isn't going to chop you up. And then stay here to the inside, guys. Don't have to go all the way out to the outside. There's no apexing on the street. You really shouldn't be doing that, because if you do that, you're going to get all the way over here towards the edge of the road. And why are you doing that? You have all that room over here to stay to the outside and not chop into someone else's turn over there. So again, 15 miles per hour here, but I know this road and I can take it in third gear because it's not that steep here. That's another thing I wanted to tell you guys is, before you start, having fun on your favorite twisty road, don't push until you know the road. Until you really know the road, you shouldn't ever try to do anything on it. You should ride at, 2/10, 3/10 pace. And that brings me to another great point. When we talk about tenths, I think a lot of people get it in their mind that, okay, 1/10 is someone who just started riding and 10/10 is going like Rossi, right? But in reality, the tenth system is how comfortable you feel on your bike. It's nothing to do with skill level. It's nothing to do with quickness or ability. All it's related to is your own ability to ride. So my 5/10 might be different than your 5/10. I'm running right now a parade lap. I feel like I'm going like a 3 or a 4/10 pace because I ride on the track a lot. So for me, this is actually super mellow and super nice to go kind of this slowly around these corners. So again, guys, stay to the inside here. Look, and then keep going. A question I get a lot is, oh, Yami, I can't go to the track as much as you do because you're a very fortunate individual and you have access to tracks and different track bikes you can run. So what can I do to get better at riding? And that's a totally valid and good point, and I'm glad you brought it up because I am extremely fortunate to be able to do what I do and go to the track as much as I do. So what can a normal person go out and do on their favorite road, on their motorcycle? See, we got guys right here. That's why we keep ahead and keep looking. And that's related to the point that I was going to make. What can we as motorcyclists do when we're on our favorite twisty roads to improve? And I think the number one thing you can do whenever you're riding your favorite road, if you want to start improving and you want to start, taking riding more seriously, other than, going to a track and starting that whole process, is to use your vision. Vision is everything when it comes to riding a motorcycle. Literally everything. I learned that at the California Superbike School, and I kind of always intuitively knew it, but I never really realized just how much vision really is everything. You should constantly, when you're on the street, be looking as far out ahead as you can to spot obstacles, to spot corners, to spot things in the way, to spot changes in road conditions. That way you're never surprised. If you're looking as far out as you possibly can, no corner should be a surprise to you. So I'm looking right up ahead here. I know that that corner's coming up, and I can flick it in here, take this nice and easy. I see that it's not decreasing, but now this one's coming up this way, and I can get over here and keep riding. That's, you know, just a small bit of information can give you a lot of confidence in the road. So you should be looking as far out as you can, and you should be practicing your vision as far out as you can and as far often as possible. The other thing you can do is practice great throttle control, right? So on track, one thing that we try to do to go faster is to minimize the dead spots between on and off throttle. So what does that mean? It means that, for example, here, when you dip into the corner, off the throttle and then back on, that distance between when you go off the throttle and back on the throttle is what we try to minimize when we're on track. But on the road, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you're not pushing, you know, like we said, 9/10, 10/10, and really trying to squeeze, you know, every second out of your lap time. But what we can do is practice good and consistent throttle control on the street. So as you've noticed while I've been riding here, you know, my throttle control at this point is muscle memory, and I know exactly how to just keep it easy on the throttle, light and easy on the bar, light and easy on the grip, and that gives me a great throttle sensation and, you know, nice and controlled through the curve. So we'll go right up here. You know, I see that this is a sweeper using my vision. I can get on the throttle a little bit, looking out here, flick in here, go a little bit outside, play with the road a little bit because it's nice and open. I can do that. So we'll go over here, keep it rolling. I see it's marked 25, but I know this corner, and I know that it's actually way steeper than 25 would suggest. As you can tell here, there's a much tighter turn than you should take at 25 miles per hour. So back in second, up to third, but my throttle, nice and consistent here. Nothing's changing, barely getting on it, revving up a little bit here, off the throttle, flick it in, back on it. So you should be focusing on your on and off throttle whenever you're riding twisty roads like this. You should be smooth and consistent with the throttle. You should really take focus of what twist of the wrist tells you when they say, you know, the throttle should be cracked on smoothly and consistently throughout the turn, and that is true. You want to, you know, whenever you're coming up here, off the throttle, flick it in, back on, nice and easy, nice and easy. See how it's tightening up here? Get back on it, off of it again, over here, and then boom. So one of the reasons I was telling you guys to get off the throttle like that is because whenever you let off the throttle, the bike can turn in a lot easier because you have the weight loaded up to the front a little bit more, and the front can bite in and flick to wherever you need to flick. It's a little bit more of an advanced technique rather than taking the turn with the throttle cracked open because it's an easier way for beginners to approach corners when it comes to that, to just have the throttle nice and consistent. But you'll find that when you're off the throttle, your bike can turn in a lot quicker and simpler, and then if you gently get back on the throttle, it'll work better. So this corner up here, we can take it in third gear. I got my throttle open right now. I can take it right here, can flick in. I haven't changed my throttle at all. I've been keeping a super consistent throttle, and I can keep doing that here. But I'll tell you, even for me, I noticed that without getting off the throttle, it doesn't turn in as nice as it would if I was off the throttle. So we'll see this one coming up here, get up to fourth. So just that slight roll-off can make you just flick into the turn a little bit easier, but it's not necessary. The thing I want to drive home as well is riding on the street is just, it's nothing like riding on the track. So much of the techniques that you learn on the track can be used for street riding, but you'll notice that they are like overkill for what you're doing on the street. Because if you're riding that flowy kind of 5/10, 4/10 pace on the road, which is what you should be doing, a lot of those techniques don't even really work. Like trail braking only works when you're riding really close to the limit. You shouldn't really be trail braking on the street unless you're riding really aggressively, which you shouldn't be doing, in my opinion. It's my personal take on it. And you guys are free to disagree or whatever you want. But I have enough experience about this stuff that I feel confident talking about it. Because when it comes to riding on the road, you have to think, what is my goal of what I'm doing here, right? Is my goal to go 5 seconds faster on this road than I did yesterday? Or is my goal to have fun on my motorcycle and make it safe back home to my loved ones? Probably option number 2. So keep that in mind whenever the little demon on your shoulder starts telling you to go faster, 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 because it's not a good idea to do that on the street. I just want to really drive that home, guys. As someone who used to do that kind of stuff on the street, it's a really dumb idea, and it's only going to get you in trouble. There's a great quote by Michael Neves over at MCN, who recently put out a video. He was talking about riding on the road and what road test editors do on the road, and he made a really good point that just because someone's fast on the street doesn't mean that they're actually fast. It just means that they're way more willing to take risks than you are. I've had plenty of guys who run quote-unquote quickly on the street, and then they go to the track and they run like a novice pace because they actually don't know how to ride fast. All they know how to do is just ride really risky on the road. And that's just something that, you know, I'm not comfortable with personally. I don't want to risk it on the road. Save that kind of stuff for close conditions. The other thing I really want to implore is, you know, this is going to happen to you guys when, you know, you might come up across somebody who is, you know, riding spiritedly, and, you know, you might have a little bit of a play with them on the road, but I really, really want to caution you to not do that, because all of a sudden you're going to be riding in a sort of competition environment when you shouldn't be. You should not be trying to race somebody down your favorite twisty road or keeping up with your buddy going down a road. That's a big recipe for disaster, because you're not focusing on your ride anymore. You should always ride your own ride. Don't try to ride somebody else's ride and try to push like they push or risk like they risk if you're not comfortable doing that, or if you're not willing to accept the consequences that come with it. I think it's a really, really bad idea. But yeah, I really just want to stress lane positioning once again, because I feel like a lot of guys talk about apexing and cornering on the streets, and I think that's just so silly. There is none of that on the street, guys. Like, you should not be trying to power out at the apex for a corner on the street. Like, you should always be riding within the margins of error to allow yourself some wiggle room in case something happens. Because if you're riding 8 or 9 tenths on the street and you're at the corner, you're at the apex, you're leaning off, you know, you're about to crack on the throttle again, what if a car comes right up along the yellow line here and you're right where you're not supposed to be? You have no room for error, you know? So just keep that in mind next time you're riding on your favorite twisty road. Because, you know, riding twisties, it's super fun, and you can learn a lot by doing it, but you will learn so much more going to a track. Even just one track day, guys, you will learn so much more than you ever thought possible than just riding on the street. You know, no one got to an expert level riding position just by riding on the street. You will have to take it to a track if you want to elevate your riding to that kind of level. It's just not possible. So guys, I hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed this little excursion on the bike, this little raw vlog of me just cruising along and imparting some tips and tricks that I've learned about twisty road riding. It's a lot of fun, but again, it can be dangerous, so keep in mind of what you're doing and the activity you're doing, and to make sure that you're not putting yourself in undue harm. And remember, just have fun, you know? Like, it's a great privilege to be on a motorcycle and to, you know, just enjoy yourself and ride. There's no reason to, you know, ride in anger or ride emotionally or aggressively on the street. It's such a great privilege and an awesome thing that we get to do, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. If you like the video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. That does help the channel out quite a bit. Remember to check out yamadoob.co if you like what we're doing here on this channel. We are giving away some bikes. We've got a new bike giveaway coming up eventually. We've got all kinds of cool stuff happening, so click that link down below. And thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys the next one. See you later.